It's Karen.
Hi, Karen. You know, it's funny.
It's Karen and
Pluto.
here with another movie review for Not Another Review channel.
Cool.
If you checked out our last video, we reviewed George A. Romero's Night of the Living Dead.
And it was awesome.
Excuse me.
What?
I burped.
Oh, I didn't hear
It
you.
was dainty. So, we're back with another zombie movie. And guess what it's called? Night of the Living Dead. Okay, you're probably like, what is going on?
No.
This
You
is...
think people don't understand what that is. Wow. You didn't even give them more credit.
Well, some of you may not know, this movie was remade in the 90s? Blue, to help me out.
It came out in October 1990. So I'm assuming it was made the end of 89 or...
Yeah, so this came out in 1990.
Around Halloween, I think.
This was actually redone by Tom Savini, if I remember correctly. So Tom Savini did a lot of the makeup effects and all that on the original.
No, he didn't.
Oh, I thought he did.
Tom Savini didn't do any effects on the original.
Oh, it was the Dawn of the Dead.
Jeez,
That was my goof. So anyways, Tom Savini remade this movie in 1990. It is in color. I actually love this movie. I think I like it a little bit more than the original, but it's just because the character Barbara really annoys me in this one, but not in the original, but not so much in this one. So Tom Savini is a local guy as well.
Yep. Can you stop taking my
I forgot to adjust my chair.
place?
So Tom Savini is actually a local guy as well, Pittsburgh area. He actually had, I think he still has his makeup school down in Menneson, which I actually know where it's at because I worked down there briefly.
Yeah, you were gonna go down there and try to do that, weren't you?
No.
You should.
No.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was really cool. You know, he's a local guy from the area. He's done multiple movie effects on different things. You know, remade this awesome movie. So, anyways.
Anyway.
Picking up where we left off.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I was being goofy.
Picking up where we left off.
No.
Okay.
So anyways, like I said, this is a remake. A lot of the same characters, story slightly different in some regard.
What's different? I'm curious. Real quick. Spoilers.
Well, yes.
But what's different real quick? I'm curious.
Barbara is a badass in this movie.
Yeah, she is. She's cool.
That was the biggie for me.
That's the big difference.
That's one of the big differences. And we actually have a character that survives. I'm not going to reveal that till later, unlike in the original where all our characters died. We have a survivor in this one, which is a big deal.
Yep.
So anyways,
it's cool.
Kind of starts the same way. Barbara and Johnny are back again in this one.
Johnny's cool. Johnny
is played by Bill Moseley in this movie.
Top.
You know, Top for Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. He's in...
Otis.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to hear. I was like Otis from House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil's Rejects. Love Devil's Rejects. We'll have to do that one sometime too.
Yep.
So he's been in a multitude of movies, and he's a great actor. So he's playing Johnny in this movie. So it's kind of the same premise. Barbara and Johnny are going to the cemetery, but this time they're...
You forget what it was called.
Yeah, I do.
They're going to the amusement park.
Yeah. Anyways, was this filmed locally? Do you know, Pluto?
It wasn't. I don't think it was in Evans City, but it was in Pittsburgh.
Okay, so this one was filmed locally as well. So they're going to the cemetery, but this time they're going to put a wreath on their mother's grave.
Yeah, big difference.
So a little bit of a difference. You know, it's not dad this time, it's mom. You know, but kind of the same antics with Johnny teasing Barbara, Barbara getting upset and everything. So, you know, they're at the cemetery.
Yep.
And, you know, Johnny's teasing her about everything when he walks away. And this one guy comes walking over. You think he's a zombie, but he's not. But you can tell he's injured. Because he kind of falls on Barbara.
I thought maybe he was just starting to turn.
I don't know, because it looked like his head. I don't know if he had like a bite mark on his head, but he...
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's an older gentleman, and he falls on Barbara, and he's like, oh, I'm sorry. And he keeps going, and Johnny looks like, hey, do you need help or anything? And then he turns back and looks at Barbara and goes, that was weird. And all of a sudden, this other zombie comes and attacks Barbara. Comes out of nowhere.
Well, he comes out from the cemetery.
Yeah, but you're not expecting it.
But Maybe, but I guess.
Well, I think if you saw the original, the first person that came through was a zombie. So you're kind of thinking, oh, this old dude's a zombie and he's not. And then all of a sudden there's this guy who is kind of like decaying and everything. Comes and attacks Barbara, attacks her.
Oh, sorry, I got fur in my ears.
Apparently, we need to trim them.
Yeah. No.
Not your ears, the fur.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you were going to trim my ears off.
This zombie's attacking Barbara, like breaks her glasses, like ripping her clothes, and Johnny comes over to help her, pulls them off, they tangle. All of a sudden, I can't remember exactly how it happens, but Johnny like trips over his feet and falls and hits his head off a gravestone.
And that looks funny. You can tell it's
a mannequin.
Watching in slow motion, it's hilarious.
Yeah, but you can tell it's a mannequin.
Yeah, if you can, watch that part.
Yeah, so I mean, if anybody wants to deny that to me, watch it, because you can flat out tell it's a mannequin.
That looked better in the original.
Right, because it's like he falls and hits. He's like, hits. And then they cut to Barbara yelling, Johnny, and then they cut back to him rolling off. Glasses broke. He has driving gloves on in this one, too.
That's important.
Yeah. And his, you could tell his, like, skull is crashed, like, smashed, and he's bleeding. So Barbara gets up, gets away from the zombie, because, like, Johnny's dead. He's not fresh meat, so he wants fresh meat. So she's, like, running, and he's, like, slowly going after her. So she gets to the car, and, of course, no car keys again. There needs to be extra set of car keys in this movie. I believe so, because then she gets over by the car and sees this other guy walking.
Yeah.
He has like a suit and tie on.
It's just the front part.
And she's yelling like, hey, hey! And then they go from behind, and what you can see is the dude, like, they just cut the suit to put it on him, and you see his bum hanging out.
She crashes backwards.
So then he's slowly walking, and he's getting caught on the pan, so it's getting pulled down, so then you can see the autism.
You gotta leave that in. That was so funny.
Autopsy scars, because you can see the Y. So she like knows, like, okay, this dude's dead. So she gets in the car, trying to find the keys. Well, both zombies come over and are trying to break into the car to get her, and the one zombie grabs a rock, which I'm amazed that zombies can think to use tools.
He used that in the first one, too.
Oh, that's right. I did forget about that. He starts banging on the window trying to break it, which he does eventually break it, but she gets the emergency brake loose, and guess what happens?
I said it.
The car crashes again.
She slams backwards into a tree.
So the zombies are coming after her. The one dude's still losing his suit and like falling and everything, so she gets out of the car and takes off running.
Help me!
So she eventually finds a farmhouse.
Very good. Very good.
No, I was just saying, like, she finds a farmhouse.
What's that called? Oh,
no, I'm just saying, like, in the first one.
Okay.
So then she's banging on the door, like, hey, help me, which the first Barbara in the first movie wasn't doing. So she's banging, and the door eventually, I think, cracks open. Is that right? Because the doors aren't locked. I thought that, or she turns it and she goes in the house, basically.
Yeah, she goes in the house, and that one guy, big fat guy up on their phone.
Right. Well, she's looking around like, anybody here? Can somebody help me? Yada, yada. Well, she's looking upstairs, and all of a sudden, this big, heavy-set, big guy, bald guy, comes walking towards the banister and just plops over. Almost lands on her.
Yeah, that would have been even better.
And she's kind of just looking like, what is going on? Well, he kind of gets up, and you can tell he's messed up. He's a zombie. So she goes and tries to run out the back door, right? If I remember correctly. Because doesn't she try to go out the back door, and there's a zombie there, and she runs to the front?
I think. I can't remember.
Yeah, something. She runs I think, to the back door, and there's a couple zombies kind of moseying in.
Ben kind of basically shows up at this point.
Right, and then she runs back out front, and it's still daylight at this point as well. And Ben shows up in the truck. He actually hits a zombie on the way down the driveway, and the zombie goes flying over.
That part's cool.
Basically breaks the zombie's spine.
That part's cool.
Which it actually took me a couple watchings to figure that out. Wow. So he gets in the house. Gets out of the car, grabs Barbara's like, get in the house, and she's like, no, like, she's like, kind of
She's afraid
panicking.
because that other one.
Right. She like
don't
knows
know
the
that.
house is not safe, and he's trying to get her into safety. Well, then all of a sudden, the one zombie that was coming in the back door kind of walks in the living room, and Ben's like, "Oh, hold on." He goes, takes care of him. Well, Barbara kind of looks where the big zombie fell, and he's not there.
That part's funny. It looks funny.
So she's kind of like looking around, like, okay, well, she walks like further into the living room. It's kind of cutting back and forth between Ben taking care of the one zombie and her. Well, for some reason, she goes over by the fireplace, grabs the one fire poker for some reason. All of a sudden, the big zombie's behind her, and she beats the crap out of him and kills him.
That part's cool. Ben's like,
that's what I said.
It's just
Barbara is a badass in this movie. I mean, she was like, no hesitation. And you can kind of tell it's a fake head because the way it sounds and the way things are bouncing off of it. But yeah, she basically takes care of him. So Ben kind of comes in like, whoa, what happened here? Because he got the other zombie out the back door and locked the door and everything. So they're kind of talking what's going on, what's happening and everything. Trying to figure out basically a game plan to survive, kind of like in the first one, but Ben was kind of the main one. But Barbara's into it this time. Like,
oh yeah, she's really into it. She's like, yeah. Here we go.
So they, discuss, boarding up and, making it as zombie proof as possible, so to speak. So, they're finding some wood and everything, boarding up the place, they wrap the big zombie up in the carpet and eventually drag him out back to get him out of the way. I'm trying to remember what else happens here. Because Ben goes upstairs looking for a TV, and I think Barbara's downstairs, so it's kind of similar to the first one. Well, he goes upstairs first because he finds shotgun shells, and he's looking for a gun.
Okay.
Not finding the gun anywhere, he eventually makes his way upstairs, and here there's another character that basically committed suicide and has the rifle. He's holding it.
Yep, that's right.
So Ben kind of just like, he's like not sure if he's going to come back to life, but he basically shot himself in the head.
He ain't coming nowhere.
So he's not coming back. So Ben kind of slides the gun away and goes back downstairs. And well, I think at that point Barbara had pointed about something being upstairs because
there's
the big
blood dripping.
Yeah, and with the big guy coming down the hard way, so to speak. So I think then he tries to go upstairs to try to look for like more boards and like television or radio or something. What are you standing up more?
I'm just listening.
Okay, so
I'm totally fixated
he's trying,
on what you're saying.
Am I right though?
I think.
So he's upstairs, and then all of a sudden our friends from the basement show up again. Scare the crap out of poor Barbara because she's screaming. And I think I said the last one, Ben did something to Mr. Cooper, and I think it's this one. He kind of hurts him or something, and Mr. Cooper gets all defensive. So naturally, this starts the whole dynamic between these two characters again. So you have Mr. Cooper and Tommy, that come upstairs. And the same thing kind of happens. Cooper's like, the basement's the safest spot, blah, 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 blah. We need to get down there. Basically,
rehash.
Kind of the same thing.
Not quite as long. There's some cool stuff with
but,
it. They'll fix the hot stuff.
Yeah, and then Tommy's kind of like, well, we need to work together. And he calls, his girlfriend's name in this one is Judy Rose. And she's kind of a whiny.
She took over the whiny.
Yeah, she's the whiny character in this one. So he gets her to come upstairs, and that's when they talk about, boarding up the place. And he's just like, Tommy's like just basically ordering around like, you're my woman, you're doing this is what we're doing, and I don't care what you say.
That's right. Yeehaw.
So they start boarding up the place because the zombies kind of start breaking the windows and everything. And of course, Mr. Cooper is no help. He's like,
shoot that cool skinny guy.
So he goes back down the basement, locks the door, barricades the door again. So eventually then Mrs. Cooper wants to come upstairs because they were saying about the radio or TV or whatever. Kind of the same dynamic.
I thought she came up because she was looking for the key.
Oh, that's right. They said about they were looking for the doors. What it comes down to is the house in this movie belongs to Tommy's uncle. Yeah, it's a family thing.
I think it was that his cousin Reed.
Yeah, it was like the big guy and the one other guy that Ben killed, and then the big guy that
Yeah, they were
Barbara
related
took
to
out.
him.
So they were saying about trying to get the doors off from upstairs, and they go upstairs, and Ben's like, "Oh, these doors are no good because they've been remodeling them." And Tommy's like, "They're better than nothing." And Ben punches his fist through the door to say, "Hey, this door is crap." So while they're up there, they find a TV. So they take the TV downstairs.
And the better doors are in the basement.
And then Tommy remembers, well, they're sliding boards down from upstairs. And of course, they hit the floor. Crap goes in Cooper's eyes. And he's like, "You idiot. Da, da, da."
Yeah, it's funny.
What else? He calls him something else throughout the whole thing.
A bunch of yo-yos.
Yo-yos. That's what it was. I wanted to say jagoffs because that's a Pittsburgh term. And I'm like, no, I know it wasn't that.
No.
And I was like, it was something, he kept calling him a bunch of, I remember he was calling him something constantly throughout it. So then Tommy remembers the solid drawers are downstairs in the basement. So they eventually convince Cooper to open the basement door to go down and get the other doors to continue boarding up. And Ben tells Cooper, "Well, since you're down here, why don't you look for the keys for the gas pump?" So Helen, I think her name's Helen in this one, Mrs. Cooper.
That's when she goes up to look for the keys.
She kind of is like, "There's a gas pump, there's a car." She basically like, "You're an idiot, and we can get out of here and get." Their daughter's name in this one is Sarah. That's another change.
Yeah, it's a good thing they changed the name. Karen's a weird name. It's a good thing they changed it.
Yeah. So, don't know what was up with the name change on that one, but they're like, "We can get help," and he's going, "It's a truck, it's a not," and Helen Cooper's just focused on getting her daughter help. So she eventually makes her way upstairs, and she tries to start looking through, and at this point, like, Barbara's going through closets, finding pants and boots to put on.
She's like, let's go.
I mean, she's like taking the gun, and but like she's like I said, she's a badass in this one. I can't say that enough. That's why I adore her in this remake.
I liked her in Army of Darkness.
But so they're like trying to do all this, and of course Cooper's not doing anything. Go figure. And at one point, the zombies kind of start, because they haven't fully reinforced the stuff. They're trying to get the stuff up and then going to go around and reinforce everything. So the zombies kind of start breaking in, and Mr. Cooper's like trying to pull Helen back in the basement. He won't help anybody. And eventually he hands Tommy some nails, and he's like, "You're all idiots, or you're all going to die," basically. He's right.
This is definitely not going to work.
Yeah, that's what it is. So he tries to pull Helen in the basement. Helen smacks them and gets away and tries to keep looking. And they're trying to re-barricade up the windows. And I think around this time, one of the doors gets pushed out. And it's this one character who looks so thin. You can see his rib cage.
That's cool. I like
He's
that.
bald. No, that one, they shoot... and they're like standing there, and Barbara starts shooting them, and she's like, "Are you looking at this? Are you looking at this? They're not dying." And Ben's like, "You're losing it, girl." And she's like, whatever I had, I lost a long time ago." So she's basically like, if you want to go fight or flight, she's fight. So, and then she kills another zombie. Oh, no, that zombie's after. There's this one zombie she shoots beforehand, and they're like, "You shot Mr. Cooper." Judy Rose is like freaking out, and she goes,
Mr.
"Look at
Cooper?
Oh, I thought
Gruder, I thought.
Mr. Gruder. Sorry, I have Cooper on the brain." And she's like, "Look at his back. I didn't do this." And that's when she shoots the other zombie. And she's like, "Are you seeing this? They're not dying." So in the middle of all this, Cooper hears voices upstairs because they TV upstairs. So he goes upstairs, sees that they're broadcasting. So he unplugs the TV, brings it downstairs. Well, him and Ben get into it.
Yeah, that's funny.
And the TV ends up falling down the basement steps and getting destroyed.
That's funny.
And Ben's like, "You're not taking anything from up here, blah, blah, blah." And Cooper's like, "You idiot, you can't get reception in the basement."
Do you think he really was taking it down there, or was that just an excuse?
I don't know. You don't really know, because it's like Ben catches them like right when he comes downstairs, and they end up just fighting their way over there.
Yeah, that part was kind of cool, because was he really trying to take it down there? You never know.
At this point, I think Barbara goes... They're discussing, like, would your Uncle Reach, I think his name was, have the keys for the pump, because they're not finding them. So Barbara kind of goes and points on the back porch where they took the big zombie earlier, and they're like, "Is that your Uncle Reach?" And Tommy's like, "Yeah." Well, Judy and Mrs. Cooper start going and start digging through his pockets,
And they find the key.
They find a key.
So they think.
Spoiler.
Yeah.
So they get back inside, hurry up and close the door because Cooper's throwing a hissy fit, like, get in here before they can come in.
Oh, yeah, I would be too. Like, hey, let's get in here.
So then they kind of start, discussing like who's going out. And at first it's Ben and Tommy, like in the original. And Judy Rose kind of starts arguing, and she's like, no. She goes, 3 of us need to go. One of us to ride, one of us to drive, one to ride shotgun, and one to manage the pump or something.
Something like that.
And she's like, tell them I can drive. I know how to drive. And Tommy's like, she's been driving her daddy's truck since she was like 14 or 12
she was
or
little.
Yeah, whatever. So
she drives like you do.
I drive good. Unlike somebody else I know, Mr. Crash.
I didn't say I knew how to drive a car. I don't know how to drive
so,
a car. You never showed me how to drive a car. But anyway.
So they get ready to go. Ben kind of puts Barbara in charge. Is like, once we got the store, board it back up, but I want you here because I don't want anything between. I don't want Cooper in between me and getting back in. And Cooper's like, screw you, man. And Ben's like, shut up. I'm not taking any more from you. Blah, blah, blah. So Ben gets his torch ready, and this time it's planned for Judy Rose to go out, unlike in the original. So
they still screw it up.
So Ben's like, no matter what, keep driving, just get in the car, get it started, and so on. So they get Judy and Tommy into the car. Well, they get Judy, and then Tommy runs around the other side and gets them in, and and Ben's waving the torch, trying to back the zombies out. Which you got to watch the one zombie in the one part because he kind of.
What was that noise?
My battery's running low.
Oh crap.
So we're gonna wrap this up here real quick because I gotta plug my computer back in. Anyways, they get in the car. Ben, watch the one zombie in the torch part because he acts weird from the cutscene and everything. It's something I've always paid attention to. But anyways, they get in the truck, get going. Well, Judy's driving like a maniac, and Ben goes rolling out of the truck. So no, because Tommy's in the back of the truck too, and he's trying to get Julia's attention, like, "Hey, we lost Ben." She's yelling, "You lost Ben!"
And she's like,
and
around like go crazy.
So eventually, once they get parked at the pump, Tommy was like, "We lost Ben. We have to go back and get him." And she's like, "Well, I don't want to leave you." And she's like, "Go get him, Judy." Get him. And then he's he's like, "Wrong key."
And so then blows him up.
So then he tries to shoot the lock.
He doesn't try. He does shoot.
He does. I say try. He does shoot. Gas comes out. There's fire. And Ben's yelling like, "What are you doing?" And they go, boom.
What are they doing? They're blowing themselves up.
Well, he was yelling because he saw Tommy aiming the gun and he was trying to stop him.
Yeah, because it was
so anyways, Ben makes his way back to the house. Like, okay, what are we going to do now? So he gets back in the house. No, because Cooper tries to overtake Barbara during this time as well.
Yeah, because the zombies are getting in.
Because the zombies are like getting closer and everything. So he tries to take the gun from Barbara, and she's trying to fight him and like telling him to kiss off and everything. And so eventually Ben gets back here. He's trying to get in. Cooper kind of gets the gun away, but he also gets grabbed by some zombies breaking through the window.
Yeah, that part's cool.
So Barbara gets the door open. Ben gets in. Cooper and Ben fight some more. Cooper aims the gun at Ben. That's what it is, to get downstairs. And then Ben...
No, he just kind of walks away from him.
Yeah.
And that's kind of when...
Anyways, it's kind of everything goes south after this because Barbara plans on trying to escape to go get help. They tell Mrs. Cooper to go down the basement. She goes down the basement, and Sarah's not on the table.
Yeah. She bites her.
So Sarah attacks Mrs. Cooper again, and there goes Mom. So they're fighting, trying to keep the zombies out, trying to figure out what to do. And Cooper and Ben are bickering back and forth, and Barbara's like, you know what, we need to figure out something. And all of a sudden, Sarah comes up the steps into the room. And Ben starts yelling, "Shoot her, man, shoot her." And Mr. Cooper.
Shoot it, Cooper.
And he's like, "I can't, it's my daughter." And so eventually she starts coming after Barbara, who's trying to get a gun from a zombie police officer that's dead on the floor.
Yep.
And Barbara ends up shooting Sarah.
Yep.
And then Ben and Mr. Cooper get into it. Cooper shoots Ben. Ben tries to shoot at Mr. Cooper. He takes off upstairs and hides in the attic.
That was pretty good behind the attic.
Which it's one of those pull down ones, so he climbs up, moves the ladder, and pulls the string up. Okay, I'm safe. So Barbara's like, we gotta go. And Ben's like, I'm too hurt. I can't. And so she's like, well, I'm going to go get help. So she leaves. Ben makes his way back down to the basement. As he goes down, I mean, the zombies are kind of coming in at this point, so he has the door barricaded. He goes down. Mrs. Cooper comes in late. She's a zombie. He shoots her, and he's kind of sitting down there trying to smoke a cigarette. And they're saying about, he's listening to the radio, and they're saying about kill him in the head, shoot him in the head and all that. And
he finds the keys.
And then he's sitting there and he finds the keys for the gas pump.
That's funny. He's like,
and he kind of loses it then because it's like, oh, really? This is where they were the whole time. So we cut back to Barbara, who is, going through all these zombies, but they're so slow that she's like practically running around them. She does shoot one.
Yeah, because they're so slow.
Yeah, she does shoot one for some reason. I don't know if she was just trying to put it out of its misery or whatnot, and she gets kind of emotional about doing it.
I always thought that maybe that was her mother.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I mean, I know we've kind of discussed that before, but
who knows?
We're not 100% sure. Anyways, as she keeps going, and eventually she comes by this truck, and she's trying to look around. All of a sudden, this gunshot comes firing. She yells, "Don't shoot!" and she dives into the back of the truck. Guess who she finds in the truck? Back of the truck.
I know.
Who?
A bunch of corpses, including Johnny.
Yeah. So there's several other zombie corpses, including Johnny's corpse in the back. So she kind of freaks out, and there's all these redneck guys that come around, and one guy's like holding her back, and they're like, "Jesus Christ, holy Jupiter's ball!" Like,
he's like, "Hey, look what we got here."
Yeah, and they're all like,
"What are you doing out here alone, little lady?"
And they're like, "What are you doing out here alone, little lady?" Well, she gets snippy and pulls away, and they all start chuckling.
Oh, it is kind of funny.
So it cuts away.
At least they give her a ride back to the place.
Yeah, so she wakes up in this Jeep back at this like campsite I'm using loosely. We have Chili Bill there again as a news reporter in the remake. And,
back to the house, right?
No, not yet. They go back to that camp thing because that's where, there's like food and
and there's
quote unquote entertainment because they're putting zombies like fighting each other and there's zombies hanging from trees and they're shooting them. It's just a bunch of random people. So, and there's kind of interactions there. Well, then she takes them back to the farmhouse hoping to save Ben. So they take out a few of the zombies along the way. Barbara goes into the house with these two other redneck dudes, and they're like, "Okay, look around, yada yada," and they chainsaw through the basement door through the boards that are blocking it, and the door opens, and we see Ben, who is no longer Ben.
Oh, is that what happens?
He's a zombie.
Oh. I thought Candyman showed up and destroyed all the zombies.
No, that's another movie. Ben is played by Tony Todd in this movie. I didn't mention that.
Candyman.
Who's in several other horror movies, Candyman, Final Destination movies. I love him as an actor in horror movies. But anyway.
This movie could be Candyman versus zombies.
So they take Ben out. Barbara's a little upset about this. And all of a sudden, a hand comes on her shoulder. And it's Mr. Cooper.
You came back.
And he's like, "Oh, you came back." Barbara turns around and shoots him in the head.
There's another one for the fire.
And okay, we're back. Unfortunately, my laptop battery went dead, so we had to move locations to finish this review. Apologize.
Need to plan a little better.
Yeah, these
get a better battery.
Well, my battery's pretty good on this. It was just we were doing a lot of stuff, and it stayed filming. So anyways, picking back up with the remake of Night of the Living Dead.
Where did we leave off? I don't remember.
Where Barbara Cooper came downstairs, said you came back for me, and she turned around and shot him.
Oh, yeah, that's
another
funny.
one for the fire. And that's pretty much the end. I mean, literally, we were at the end when the battery died.
Yeah, but we need to wrap it up.
But they kind of do, I think they do some slow motion pictures of some things in this one too, don't they?
Yeah, it's still
Hold on, you got fuzz right above your eye, my friend.
Okay, did you get it for me?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. No, they just do still shots like the other one.
Yeah, and it's kind of like that, and it just ends. So like I said, in this one, we actually have a survivor with Barbara. We'll always be curious to find out what happened to this character, though, with everything.
That's what they should have did with the Dawn of the Dead remake thing, whatever that was.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it. I mean, like I said, there's some similarities, some differences between
It was different enough that it was cool.
Yeah, I mean,
It's not like other remakes.
and also, it's in color because it was made in the 90s, but I think at that point it added to it. There is a lot more gore in this movie and blood.
There was a lot of gore edited.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a lot more than the original movie showed.
Yep.
Because, I mean, like, when they find the guy upstairs that commits suicide, I mean, you see everything there.
Somebody gets his head blown off, but they don't show it.
Right.
Just thought I'd add that.
But, I mean, it's like, it's a lot, there's a lot more in this. But, I mean, like I said, I do like this. I like the original, and I love the remake as well. I mean, I think they're both very well done. Like I said, I like the Barbara character a lot more in this one. I mean, she's like, yeah, gun-ho, we're going to do this and everything.
She's like, oh, girl power.
No, before girl power was cool.
That's stupid.
So, like I said, definitely check it out. I think you will enjoy it. I don't believe this one is not public domain, if I'm not mistaken.
Nope. So make sure you buy it.
Buy it, rent it if you can.
Buy it.
Yeah. Don't rent it. Honestly, like this is the DVD, and I probably
that's probably out of print.
Yeah, probably because I mean this was bought a while ago, and honestly,
yeah, we don't have it on Blu-ray. So if you buy it and you don't like it, send it to Karen Doll on Blu-ray.
Just Karen on this channel.
Yeah, but you want to send it to Karen Doll, or no, send it to Bluto. Karen on Bluto.
Yeah, like I said, I don't even know if this one is on Blu-ray or anything.
I think it is.
Probably is. If not, pretty much look on Amazon. You'll probably find it. That's pretty much where I order.
Yep.
Everything. So
buy it, watch it. If you don't like it, send it to whatever address is on this thing. Whatever. I don't know. I just want to try to get a copy of it on Blu-ray.
You're scheming. You're scheming. Okay. So like I said, that is it. Definitely check it out if you have the opportunity, or if you have watched it, watch it again. I mean, this is another one I feel has a lot of replay value, and like it's another one too. If I can't find anything on, I'll put this on and watch it. There's all this new stuff out there, and don't like a lot. It seems like I go back to this, like these and other movies. We're probably like, okay, we reviewed Ghostbusters and the original Night of the Living Dead, and original Dawn of the Dead.
We'll do that one sometime.
We'll do that.
That's my favorite zombie
We're gonna
movie.
plan out and try to figure out, what movies we're gonna review with you guys. And honestly, we're probably going to review some that we don't like. I know these 3 movies I've reviewed initially.
Or I like one that you won't.
Right.
That'll be funny.
But, we just started with these 3 because these are ones we both like a lot.
Make suggestions.
Yeah, make suggestions.
Even if we don't have it, we can talk about it if we saw it.
Yeah, or we can try to locate it or find a way to watch it. With all the technology that's out there, I'm sure we can find it to watch somewhere. Or
there are lots of movies I don't like that just Karen here likes.
Mm-hmm. And there's stuff that I'm sure Bluto likes that I'm not overly crazy about or don't like. I'm trying to think off the top of my head, like some things.
Let's just wrap this up. I want to go eat.
Yeah, because I'm
hungry.
Like I said, we're going to sit and try to figure out what we're going to do with you guys. And honestly, like I said, it's going to be, it's not going to be all like, oh, I love this movie all the time. So I don't want you guys to think that way.
Like other people, oh, this is a good movie.
Right. I mean, it just happens. These were the first 3 movies we figured we would do. Because
might as well do ones you like.
We knew them pretty well.
Do ones we hate.
Yeah. Because one I could think of off the top of the head that I don't like that much, but I know Beluda likes a lot, is House of a Thousand Corpses.
That's cool.
I wasn't overly crazy about it.
Don't hate it.
But I love Devil's Rejects.
That's cool.
I don't know what it is.
You're going to do Howard the Dork.
Howard the Duck.
Howard the Dork Duck.
He doesn't like it. I love that movie.
No.
I think I want to do a listing on here of movies that are so bad they're good. But then there's other movies like that are bad that I always joke that there's not enough alcohol out there for me to watch, to make me watch this or something. So, I mean, like I said, it's not going to be all like, oh, this movie's great, this movie's great. No.
Maybe the next one will be one we hate. Both hate.
So, I mean, it's not like it's always, I mean,
we'll rip it apart.
We're going to give an honest review is what I'm trying to say.
Yep.
If I don't like something, I will let you know. If you guys follow me over K-Dog Games, Toys and More, even on there, if there's a toy that I'm not impressed with, I let you guys know. So it's going to be the same thing here. If I'm reviewing something and I'm not crazy about it, I'm going to let you know. Fair enough? Work for you? Okay. So we're going to sign off. Like I said, watch this. Great movie. So please remember, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you know when I post new content. Share my page if you want.
No, if you don't want to, share it anyhow.
So just make sure you come back for more reviews. If, like I said, if you have a movie suggestion you want us to do, let me know in the comments.
Yeah, nothing higher than an R.
Yeah, we're not going to go any like NC-17 or X-rated.
Showgirls will be fun, but nah.
That movie's not that good.
No, but it'd be fun to talk about. Yeah. Oh, well.
Maybe. Nah. But nothing.
Maybe if this video gets 500 likes, we'll do it.
What, Showgirls or something else?
No, what we're doing right now.
Oh.
Give this video 500 likes and maybe we'll review Showgirls.
I don't know if I could put myself through that torture of watching that
Then again. I'll do it myself.
Anyways, like I said, please come back for more. I'm going to be doing some other reviews of some other things. I have some previously recorded. Just disregard what I was calling the channel and that because I was going to call it one thing and now I've decided to call it something else.
Yeah.
Looking into maybe
Karen's other channel was funny, but she didn't like that. Yeah.
So I did BarkBox for like 6 months. So I'm going to post those. And another thing, I'm looking at maybe doing a couple other subscription things. So if you have any suggestions on that, leave it in the comments. Basically, if there's something in general you want me to possibly want Bluto and I shouldn't just say me. If you want us to review, you know, let me know in the comments.
I know what you could review.
What's up?
There's this awesome guitar that you should get. You could review that.
Sure. Not going to happen. So, like I said, if you have any suggestions, let us know. If it's something we can do, we'll try to do it. If we can't, we will let you know. But just be sure we're going to give an honest opinion. So, that's it.
Yep. I'm hungry. I want some food.
We'll see you guys in the next one.
Food.
Bye. Bye.